Hello, my name is Brian Clark. I'm here with Excite Baits today, and I'm going to talk about the Raptor tail worm, the 7-inch and the 10-inch version, and go through some of the designs of the bait, colors, and then some of the ways you can use that, and some of the lakes you might want to try it on. Okay, first off, this is a 7-inch version, and just like with all the other Excite baits, this bait has no salt in it, so it's going to help that bait float when it's on the bottom. So when you're dragging it on the bottom, you drag it and you stop. When you stop, say that bait just kind of falling down on the bottom, if it had a lot of salt in it, that bait's actually going to rise up in a defensive position or look like a bait down there feeding on the bottom. But this bait puts out a lot of vibration the way this tail is designed. It's thicker on the outside, thinner on the inside, and this vibration ball on the end puts out a lot of vibration when you pull that bait up. So when you pull it up, it kind of has like a thumping, pulsing vibration. Then as it's falling down, it has the same thing. I really like to throw a worm as you're getting into the warmer months of the year, like say after the spawn, through the summer months, maybe early fall until they get on a good jig bite. But in the summertime, a worm, you can't go wrong. It's really good. Another good technique for this is like if you're fishing brush piles, you know, offshore. Say you've got, you know, somebody's gone out there and put 100 Christmas trees out in some spot in 20 foot of water. A lot of times it's hard to get a jig through those brush piles. You know, it's going to get down there and get hung up and stuff, but this bait, a worm in general, has got a smaller, thinner profile to it. So it'll kind of get down those nooks and crannies of those brush piles, those Christmas trees, whatever it is, get down to the bottom where that fish is, you know, down there at the bottom of that cavity, and it'll get down there where he's at so he can bite it. But the other thing too, it kind of comes through that brush a lot easier. So anytime I'm fishing those deeper brush piles, a worm, a 7-inch or a big 10-inch worm is my go-to bait. Anytime I'm rigging these baits, you know, I like to, in this bait here, I'd use probably a 2/0 hook. If I can get away with it, I like to use a straight shank hook. But I use a 2/0 hook, anywhere from you know, 1/8 ounce to a 3/8 ounce weight, and depending on what kind of cover I'm fishing, anywhere from 15 to 20 pound line. And a lot of times I'm fishing those deeper brush piles, I'll use the 10-inch version of this, and I'll put it on like 20-pound test. I'll use a bigger hook. I'll use like a 5/0 hook. Gamagotchi's got a wide gap J-bend hook I like to use on this bait here. It's a 5/0. But anytime I go like to Kentucky Lake, go down to South Texas, first time when I think somebody's mentioned South Texas, I think of big deer and big bass. And anytime I'm going to South Texas, I got a bag. It's got nothing but 10-inch worms in it. And this 10-inch worm is the first thing I grab. And you even got the 10-inch Maximus worm. And but this 10-inch, like I said, use a 3/8 ounce weight, 20-25 pound line, a 5/0 hook, and like say fishing those deep long points, deep brush piles, anywhere you've got big fish and you need a big bite, go to that 10-inch worm. But the cool thing about a 10-inch worm I've noticed too, and a lot of times with big jigs too, a lot of times you'll still get those 2-pounders and 3-pounders to bite them. You know, it's not like those smaller keepers won't bite them, but if it gets in front of a big fish, he'll eat it. But just keep that in mind when the water starts warming up, outside of the spawn into early fall, go to that worm. And it's a really good technique when you're fishing offshore, fishing those thick brush piles, because that worm's going to get down off in there and get you more strikes. But take a look at Excite Baits. This is a 7-inch, the 10-inch Raptor tail worm. Give them a try this summer and they'll catch you more for it.